Welcome to the Thrift Store Kitchen Review, where I test all the weird junk from the thrift store so you don't have to. Welcome to today's edition of the Thrift Store Kitchen Review. If you've watched my channel, you've seen me review a lot of devices that are built like waffle irons, and most of them have been absolutely terrible. But you know what I haven't reviewed? An actual waffle iron. But today that changes because we're doing just that. Here I have the Stuffler, a stuffed waffle maker by Presto. And I got this at a Goodwill in Woodstock, Georgia for only $6.99. So let's go ahead and unbox the Stuffler. This thing does appear to be new in the box. We have our manual right here. And yeah, it's brand new. It's in the wrapper and everything. Apparently the main waffle isn't very large, but what you do with this thing, I'm trying to figure out how to open it. There we go. Essentially, you pour your waffle batter in and you put all kinds of stuffings in there. You can do sweet, you can do savory, you can really put whatever. And then you pour more waffle batter on top. This thing in the middle is a set of tongs that picks up your waffle when it's done. Very interesting device here. So I have some ideas of some different waffles that we are going to make. So I'm going to get this cleaned up and we're going to do just that. I've gone ahead and gotten the Stuffler heated up and I went ahead and made some waffle batter. Now the first stuffed waffle we are going to try is going to be a sweet one. I'm going to make some cherry cheesecake waffles. I have here some Philadelphia no-bake cheesecake and some canned cherry pie filling. Now, with this thing, the manual specifically said, do not use cooking spray with the nonstick surface. So what I want to do first is I want to pour in some waffle batter to the point where it is covering the grid. That should be about enough. And then I want to add my filling, and it said to keep it centered and away from the edge. So let me go ahead and just throw some blobs of the cheesecake in there. All right, and now some cherries. Okay. Now I want to continue filling it with waffle batter till it gets to the top of the square indentations on the tongs, quoting the manual. Then I close it and then I flip it to the other side so the batter gets into the other side of the grid. Now this doesn't work like a standard waffle iron where it has a done light. You just have to take it out at 8 minutes. Being that it's a waffle in an iron, it's going to be kind of hard to check it, so we'll be back in 8 minutes to remove the waffle. Okay, it's been 8 minutes. Let's open it up. That waffle looks well done. Now we squeeze the tongs and remove it and put it on the plate. I mean, look at that. That thing is intact and looking quite delicious. So let me get these tongs back on here. Close this and unplug it for a minute and move it out of the way. And let me cut this waffle open and see how it looks. I mean, that looks good. Looks really hot, but it looks delicious. So I'm going to give this a minute to cool down so I don't burn my mouth. And then I'm going to try it. All right, so it's not steaming anymore, so let me take a bite of my cherry cheesecake waffle. That is quite delicious, I must say. So the first test was a success. So I'm going to clean up, and then we're going to go with a more savory type waffle for our next one. Okay, so we are set up to do our next waffle. As I promised, we are doing a savory one this time, and I'm going to be doing a breakfast sandwich waffle. What I've got here are some strips of bacon, cheese, and a scrambled egg. Now with this machine, you can use pretty much any ingredient you want, but you do have to prep them ahead of time. Do not use raw ingredients in this machine. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open it up. Go ahead and get that bottom layer of batter on there. I'll put my cheese in first, and then I will put some bacon. I don't know if I'm going to need all this bacon. No, not all. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and put some scrambled egg on top of that. Should be good. Let me go ahead and pour the rest of the batter over the ingredients. This bowl is almost empty. I should have just enough to get this covered. Good enough. There we go. We'll close it. We'll flip it, and in 8 minutes we'll take it out. All right, it's time to pull the breakfast waffle out. Looks done again. Pick it up carefully with the tongs. Now this one is not holding together as well as the other one did. Let me see if I take it out from the other side. Now if this doesn't work, I may try getting it out another way. Yeah, let me get a spatula because I don't want to mess this machine up. I probably needed a little bit more waffle batter for that top and to get all the way done. And unfortunately, there was not enough left in the bowl. All right, I have a spatula. Let me go ahead and unplug the machine too so it doesn't keep cooking. Don't want to burn myself. All right, there we go. It's out. Yeah, you can see the sides really didn't hold together all that well. Probably needed just a little bit more batter, but let's see how the insides of the waffle look. I discovered this thing. It's for actually holding the machine upright in a storage type position. But yeah, I mean, it looks good inside. It is really hot still, so let me go ahead and let that cool. And then we'll see how it tastes in just a moment. All right, the waffle should be ready to taste. Let me go ahead and cut off a quarter of it. Looks good inside. See the eggs, see the bacon, the cheese. That came out really good. Even with the minor issue we had removing the waffle from the machine, I would say that one is a success. So we're going to try one more waffle on here, and we are going to be testing to see if this thing can make a version of a famous waffle from television. And what waffle would I be referring to? That would be Homer Simpson's patented space-age out-of-this-world moon waffle. If you remember, there's an old episode of The Simpsons where Homer refuses to keep going to church and just stays home, and while his family's at church, he makes this. What are the ingredients? Waffle batter, caramel, a stick of butter, and liquid smoke. Now, we're not going to copy this exactly as Homer did it because he puts the caramels on the waffle maker first, and I don't want to destroy this thing, but we're going to see if we can improve on it. So first, I'm going to open this up and get our waffle batter in there. Actually, let me get a little more batter in there just to make sure it's covered. Made a new thing of it, and this batter is definitely thicker. Then we're going to get our caramels in there. Keep them away from the sides. Get this one up more so it doesn't end up touching the bottom. Then we got our liquid smoke. Don't want to go too crazy with this. A little bit goes a long way. And then we're going to cover the top. Then again, I'm going to go ahead and close it, flip it over, And in 8 minutes, we will be back to take it out. All right, the 8 minutes is up. So let's go ahead and take this out. Got some caramel on the tongs, but as long as it's not on the waffle iron part itself, it should be pretty easy to clean up afterward. Go ahead and close this and unplug it. Let me get this waffle iron out of the way so you can see the waffle. I'm going to cut it open. Oh yeah, you can see that caramel coming off on the knife. Now, in that episode, what Homer did with the butter is, well, he had used a standard waffle iron and had a large enough waffle to wrap a whole stick of butter in. Now, I don't have that, but what I can do instead is I'm going to cut off a chunk of butter, and I'm going to open the waffle top and just shove it in there. Now that caramel is still molten, so I'm going to give this just a minute, and then we're going to see how it tastes. Alright, so I want to get a bite of this before that butter melts too much, because in the spirit of things, we want to at least taste it with the butter while it's solid. So let me dive into this and see what we're working with. It's interesting, I'll give it that much. I think I probably should have used a little bit more of the liquid smoke flavoring, because while I can taste it, it's not all that strong. Anyway, I'm going to try to choke down the rest of it so it doesn't go to waste, and then we're going to give the Stuffler its final test. So after testing all those other waffles in the Stuffler, now it's time to find out, will it glizz? So what I'm going to do here first is this hot dog is much larger than the Stuffler itself. So I'm going to cut it in half. Basically, I'm just going to go ahead and open it up and then fill the bottom portion of the Stuffler. Get enough in there. Move it around some, and then I'm just going to put the 2 hot dogs in there. Get them covered with the waffle batter. That should be about good, especially once I turn it. And then flip it, and then in 8 minutes, we're going to see how it tastes. All right, 8 minutes is up. Let's see it. Looks good. Now, one thing I have noticed in these last 2 waffles, the first couple waffles I made were with a different brand of waffle mix, and that brand got a lot darker brown than this one does. The first few waffles, I used the rest of the box of Jiffy waffle mix I had, and this one is the Lidl store brand waffle mix, and both waffles I made with the Lidl mix seem to have come out a much lighter color, so I think I will stick with that brand when using this machine from here on. So let me go ahead and close this and get it unplugged and out of the way. Let's go ahead and cut this open, see how it looks. Got our hot dogs right there. They are nice and hot inside. Cut off a quarter of this. I'm actually gonna let this cool for a minute because it is very hot inside. And once it does, I'm gonna see how it tastes. Should be safe to eat by now, so let me pick it up and take a bite. Not bad. It's interesting for sure, but it's not terrible. Not the way I generally want to eat a hot dog, but it's edible. So I'm going to clean up a little bit, and then I am going to give you my final verdict on the Stuffler. So what is my final verdict on the Stuffler? Well, normally in this section, I try to objectively break down the pros and cons of an item I reviewed. But this thing is great. It really doesn't have any cons. It works great. It's easy to use. It's clean to use. It doesn't spill waffle batter everywhere. The nonstick surfaces are wonderful because even when I had the caramel melted on there, it took no effort to get it right off. It's a creative idea, and there's just all kinds of different possibilities of what you can make with it. I mean, really, it's all up to your imagination with what kind of waffle you want to make. This thing is a wonderful device. If you ever see one, I would absolutely recommend picking it up, no questions asked. Well, thanks for joining us today here on the Thrift Store Kitchen Review. Be sure to subscribe, follow us on Facebook and TikTok. They are both linked in the description below. Leave us a line down there in the comment section. Let us know what you'd like to see next. Tell your friends about us. Get out there and support your local thrift store, and have a wonderful day.